What if everything you've been told about debt is a lie? What if the very people teaching you about good debt are the ones getting rich off your payments? Right now, millions of smart people are going broke following advice that sounds brilliant. And the worst part? They think they're making intelligent financial decisions. I'm about to show you the biggest scam in personal finance. A scam so sophisticated that Harvard MBAs fall for it. A scam that's keeping the middle class trapped while making billionaires richer. This is going to hurt, but the truth always does. They call it smart debt, good debt, leverage. Here's how they sell it to you. Student loans are an investment in yourself. Mortgages build equity instead of paying rent. Business loans let you use other people's money. Investment property debt creates passive income. It all sounds so logical, so sophisticated, so smart. But here's what they're not telling you. Every single piece of smart debt advice comes from someone who profits when you borrow. Banks created the term good debt. Real estate agents push mortgages because bigger loans mean bigger commissions. Business schools teach leverage because their corporate sponsors need borrowers. Financial advisors recommend debt because managing your payments generates fees. Even the government promotes student loans because they're profitable. Let me show you the real math they don't want you to see. Student loans, the investment scam. Average debt, $37,000. Interest rate, 6%. Total payments over 10 years, $50,800. But here's what they hide. That $37,000 invested in index funds instead. At 8% returns, it becomes $79,900 in 10 years. You didn't invest in education. You gave up $43,100 in wealth, plus paid $13,800 in interest. Total opportunity cost, $56,900. For a degree that might not even increase your income. Mortgages, the equity building trap. $300,000 home loan at 7% for 30 years. Monthly payment, $1,996. Total paid, $719,000. Interest, $419,000. But what if you rented for $1,500 and invested the $496 difference? After 30 years, at 8% returns, $653,000. Plus you saved $419,000 in interest. Total wealth advantage of renting, over $1 million. But they'll never show you this calculation. Business loans, the leverage lie. They say, use other people's money to get rich. Reality, 80% of businesses fail within 5 years. If your business fails, you still owe the loan, plus interest. If it succeeds, most profits go to debt payments. You're not building wealth, you're building income for the bank. Investment property loans, the passive income myth. Buy 5 properties with 20% down. Sounds amazing on paper, until the market drops 20%. Now you owe more than they're worth. One bad tenant and you're covering multiple mortgages. One major repair wipes out years of passive income. You don't own real estate. The bank owns you. Here's the deeper truth they don't want you to discover. This isn't just about math. It's about programming your mind. Since childhood, you've been conditioned to believe debt is normal. Everyone has a mortgage. Student loans are part of life. You need credit to build credit. These beliefs didn't form naturally. They were planted through decades of systematic programming. And here's how beliefs actually work. Your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what's real and what you believe to be real. When you believe, I need debt to build wealth. Your subconscious creates situations that require debt. You see opportunities that need financing. You make decisions from scarcity instead of abundance. You attract circumstances that match your debt programming. It's like broadcasting a signal that says, "I'm dependent on borrowed money." And the universe responds by giving you more reasons to borrow. This is why billionaires still carry mortgages they could pay cash for. This is why successful people still use business loans. Their wealth grew, but their debt programming remained unchanged. So they unconsciously create situations where debt feels necessary. The system reinforces this programming everywhere you look. TV shows glorify house flipping with borrowed money. Business podcasts celebrate entrepreneurs who leveraged their success. Financial news treats debt-to-equity ratios like badges of honor. Even financial education is really debt education in disguise. They teach you how to manage debt, not avoid it, how to use debt, not eliminate it, how to optimize debt, not escape it. Because a debt-free population is their worst nightmare. Banks would collapse without borrowers. Real estate would crash without leverage buyers. The entire economy depends on your monthly payments. So they've made debt seem not just normal, but necessary, even intelligent. But here's what happens when you break free from this programming. Everything changes. Your energy shifts. Your opportunities multiply. Your stress disappears. Let me show you what debt-free wealth building actually looks like. Instead of student loans, you work and save for education. Maybe it takes longer, but you graduate with money, not debt, with work experience, not just theory, with freedom, not monthly payments. Instead of a mortgage, you rent modestly and invest aggressively. In 10 to 15 years, you buy real estate with cash. No interest payments, no risk of foreclosure. True ownership. Instead of business loans, you start with what you have. Bootstrap your way to profitability. Reinvest profits for growth. You own 100% of a smaller business instead of 20% of a leveraged one. Instead of leveraged investment properties, you buy one property cash. It generates pure cash flow, no debt service, no sleepless nights. You use that cash flow to buy the next property. Slowly, safely, surely. This approach requires something the debt pushers hate: patience. But patience is your superpower in a world addicted to instant gratification. Here's how to reprogram your debt beliefs. First, become aware of your current programming. Notice when you think, "I need to borrow money for this." Question that thought. Says who? Based on what? Second, consciously choose new beliefs. I build wealth with patience, not debt. Cash flow is more important than net worth. I attract opportunities that don't require borrowing. Third, visualize your debt-free future. See yourself making decisions without considering monthly payments. Feel the freedom of true ownership. Believe that this is not only possible, but inevitable. Fourth, take aligned action. Stop all borrowing immediately. Pay off existing debt as fast as possible. Build a substantial cash reserve. Invest only with money you can afford to lose. Here's your debt-free wealth blueprint. Phase 1. Stop the bleeding. Cut up credit cards. Cancel that car loan application. Forget about the mortgage pre-approval. Phase 2. Emergency fund. $1,000 first. Then 3 months of expenses. Then 6 months. This isn't just money, it's psychological freedom. Phase 3. Debt elimination. List all debts, smallest to largest. Pay minimums on everything accept the smallest. Attack the smallest with everything you have. Celebrate each payoff. Use that momentum for the next debt. Phase 4. Wealth accumulation. Start investing 20% of your income. Index funds are fine to start. Real estate when you can buy cash. Business opportunities when they make sense without leverage. Phase 5. Asset acquisition. Buy cash-flowing assets only. Rental properties that generate positive cash flow from day one. Businesses that pay you whether you work or not. Intellectual property that creates royalties. Phase 6. Reinvestment. Live off earned income. Reinvest all passive income. This creates exponential wealth growth without any debt risk. Here's what happens when you follow this path. Year 1 to 3. You feel behind compared to leveraged friends. Year 4 to 7. You start pulling ahead as they struggle with payments. Year 8 to 15. You're significantly wealthier with much less stress. Year 15. Plus, you're financially free while they're still making payments. The debt pushers won't tell you this timeline. They want you to believe that speed is everything, that you need to get rich quick with leverage, but quick riches built on debt rarely last. True wealth is built slowly, steadily, and debt-free. The smart debt scam works because it appeals to your ego. It makes you feel sophisticated, like you're using advanced strategies. But complexity is not intelligence. Simplicity is genius. Spend less than you earn. Invest the difference. Be patient. Stay debt-free. This isn't sexy. It's not complicated. It won't impress anyone at cocktail parties. But it works. Every single time. For every single person who follows it. The choice is yours. Follow the crowd into the smart debt trap, or break free and build real wealth. If you want the complete debt-free wealth system, join the Luxona Vault. Coming soon. Inside, you'll discover the exact strategies, tools, and mindset shifts that have helped thousands escape debt slavery forever. Plus, the specific investment strategies that work without leverage. Your debt-free future starts with the choice you make right now. Will you choose freedom or payments? Independence or dependence? Truth or comfortable lies? The answer will determine everything. This is Luxona, where millionaires are made.